And now, reporting for Outside the Lines, Bob Ley.
On the cusp of Masters Week, today we consider the Tiger effect. Now, on the course on Sundays, it's simply unreal. When Tiger Woods sits first or second entering the final round, he is on average 3 strokes better than his playing partners, and no one since 2004 partnered with him in those circumstances has beaten him. But the Tiger effect also refers to an anticipated boom in minority golfers following this electric role model into a sport where African-American success stories historically are so few. Yet now with Woods at his absolute peak, this Tiger effect, by many objective measures, is a vacant echo.
You have one black golfer on a tour that includes 125 PGA pros.
Up into the 60s, there was a white-only rule in golf, a Caucasian-only rule in golf. And there's still some people within the golf hierarchy that would like to see it that way.
Free Wi-Fi, giving you the freedom to get out and work wherever you want. Free Wi-Fi at Courtyard. It's a new stay. They lay claim to the curve, the rise, the twist. They dig in their heels, demanding nothing less than more, refusing to compromise joy in the name of practicality. We build cars for people like that. We are people like that. All new. All that. Mazda 3.
My kids call me the shredder, because every bill I get goes right in my
inbox, not my mailbox. I pay for everything online, so I can...
Stop. Just take a deep breath. I know my identity's safer. Besides...
I get these text messages. They're called spending alerts. I feel more in control. My husband feels
funky, funky, and crunky. But I've stopped using my pets' names as passwords.
Everyone's talking about keeping money safe. At Citi, we've got ways to help keep your finances secure. And when your money's safe, your mind's at ease.
Augusta. The world's best gather here, hoping to write themselves into history. First and second round coverage of the Masters, Thursday and Friday at 4 on ESPN.
So we have the jarring collision of Tiger Woods' otherworldly dominance up against the reality that the phrase minority advances in pro golf appears to be an oxymoron. Now, there are numbers, and they're surprising enough, and there are emotions, and you will hear them expressed today. You will see fingers pointed and hear responsibility and blame assigned. Mark Schwartz now examining this issue where no one can argue with what has happened, but the explosive questions are why and what can change it.
Yeah. 1997. Tiger Woods becomes the youngest Masters champ ever, and the face of golf was dramatically altered. Or so we thought.
I think what everybody assumed was that that was just the beginning, that the tour would start to look much more like America. Well, the tour doesn't look like America now.
Golf has this probably more negative image almost than any other sport in some ways.
Oren Starn, a professor of cultural anthropology at Duke University, says that in a nation that embraces diversity, golf has fewer black faces than it's had in decades.
In golf, we have gone backwards. You have one black golfer on a tour that includes 125 PGA pros, and then another 100-some pros on the nationwide tour where you also don't have a single African-American, and then you don't have a single African-American on the LPGA women's tour. You've got a problem.
In 1976, when Woods was a year old, 12 African-Americans played on the PGA Tour.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear.
Today, there are as many African-Americans in the Oval Office as there are at the highest level of men's golf.
How can you have an athletic organization with one black player playing?
Good shot.
Stephen Reed, now 27, was the first African-American to play golf in the Big 12 Conference. But since graduating from Texas A&M 5 years ago, Reed says he struggled to earn both money and respect.
Guys look at me, and I know a lot of them are looking at me because they're trying to figure out, who's that black guy?
I need to knock it tight.
Reed has competed everywhere from South America to Asia to the bush leagues of golf, the mini tours, like this recent event in Okatee, South Carolina.
The problem is, golf is the only sport who's reluctant to see who's the best. It's on a pedestal and behind a pearly gate, and right now, minorities don't have the code.
But one Hall of Fame athlete has a different view.
Sports doesn't work that way. You got to keep that competitive. Guy has to earn his way there. A woman has to earn her way, on the LPGA tour.
Julius Irving, who owns a golf club in Atlanta, says that pro sports is a meritocracy where only the best succeed.
I have all kinds of friends who I grew up with who wanted to be professional basketball players, and out of that whole pool, it was just me. As long as it's a fair fight, then, if my guy doesn't prevail, I'm not mad at the institution.
It would appear that they're comfortable with the situation as it is. And you see how much of that you got?
Eddie Payton, Walter Payton's older brother, has been the head golf coach at historically black Jackson State University since 1986. Payton disagrees with Irving that it's a fair fight. He says golf remains an elitist sport, in no hurry to develop more African-American stars.
I think that up until the 60s, there was a white-only rule in golf, a Caucasian-only rule in golf. And there's still some people within the golf hierarchy that would like to see it that way. They appreciate Tiger being the exception as opposed to the rule.
PGA Tour Commissioner Tim Finchem declined several ESPN requests to address what his organization has done to develop the next wave of African-American stars, though he has stated he's jealous of how major team sports look more like America than golf does. Duke professor Orrin Starn says there are sociological reasons for what he calls the re-whitening of the PGA Tour.
Part of the reason for the disappearance of the black golf pro has to do with the golf cart.
For decades, most prominent black golfers became exposed to the game as caddies. The golf cart has made caddying all but obsolete.
I think that's the worst invention in the world for the development of African Americans, black kids in the game of golf.
When you look at a PGA Tour event and you see no black representation, what do you feel as a black man?
I feel